the Reverend Dr. Stuart Lange. He is National Director of the New Zealand Christian Network. He joins us now. Stuart, kia ora. Thanks for your time today.
Kia ora tātou.
Now, wonderful to be involved in this significant event. But first up, explain to us what it was that you were attending and, the reason behind it.
Well, it's an event that happens once every 6 years, and it's the so-called General Assembly of the World Evangelical Alliance, which is just there's nothing political or anything like that. It's just simply those who are gospel-minded people from churches across the world. And the Evangelical Alliance has been going since 1846. So it's very well established and well respected. And there were people, about 1,000 delegates from 125 different nations met together. And this time it was in Seoul in Korea.
Now, Korea is, a part of the world where the church has been thriving for some time, although I suppose only relatively recently that the church has been planted there. 1,000 delegates sounds like a large number, but then you put it in the context of just how huge some of these churches are, Stuart.
Oh, yes. Well, it was actually in what's not a very normal thing in New Zealand, but it was in a Presbyterian mega church, a local church, Sarang. Well, it draws on the whole city, that actually has over 60,000 people turning up to that particular site every Sunday. And we went back, my wife and I, to church there the next week, the Sunday after, and yes, sure enough, there were vast numbers of people there. The largest underground church in the world, literally underground, about 5 stories down, and then it goes up about 7 stories with 2 towers. Just a phenomenal sight. But it's not the largest church in Korea. The one that Yonggi Cho started is actually larger again.
That is quite significant. And hey, good to see these important things that God is doing through the church in Korea. But the reason for gathering together isn't just to celebrate the wins, but to strategize. How are we doing as the evangelical church, and what strategies do we need to put in place to make sure that those who don't know the gospel message are able to engage with it?
Well, the overarching theme and focus of the assembly was summed up by the words "the gospel for everyone" by 2033.
Yep.
Now that's a significant year. Because if we do the calculations, that's the 2000th anniversary.
Oh, yes.
On the day of Pentecost of the birth of the Christian church, the worldwide Christian church. And so a concerted effort is just kind of rousing people to across the churches in all those 125 nations to a concerted effort to reach many more people for Christ and for salvation in the lead up to 2033.
Yeah.
An excellent theme.
And certainly some challenges ahead there. I mean, yes, there's some reports of places that the church is growing very well, but there's also places where the church is struggling, and there's certainly a disparity between the places where the church is struggling and the resources that are available in other parts of the world. Very much a team effort required in order to strive towards this target.
Yeah, well, there are many parts in the world where Christians have it easy and are not thriving.
Yeah.
But there are other parts where there's just massive problems. And we met a lot of people from very troubled countries where there's, abductions and actually killings of Christians, all sorts of restrictions. There's warfare, there's famine, there's civil unrest. There's hopeless corruption and so on. But in the midst of and in all sorts of societal pressures against and religious pressures against Christians, but despite that, we met some very vibrant and inspirational Christians, people working in the slums, the most terrible slums in some countries, where there's great hostility to the faith, but absolutely showing the love and vigor of strong Christian faith.
Mm. And
Mm.
I also understand a good representation, not just from Aotearoa, New Zealand, but from other Pacific nations representing
Yeah,
what God is doing
yes.
in their part of the world.
Yeah, there were 10 New Zealanders there, and there were another 15 from various Pacific countries.
Hmm. Yeah,
Mm.
significant stuff indeed. Just wanting to focus on the address given by the General Secretary of the WEA. Now, this is somebody who has, well, quite a backstory in terms of his own background and country of origin.
Right? He's somebody who, it wasn't Jesus, but he was born and raised in Nazareth.
Okay.
And, uh, and he is an Israeli citizen.
Hmm.
He's a lawyer and he is a pastor. His name is Boutros Mansour. He's also an Arab Christian,
Hmm.
and he is the new General Secretary of the World Evangelical Alliance, and a lovely man.
Yeah.
Obviously, a man of deep faith. Uh, not, I'm sure he's got views on things
Yeah.
in that region, as anybody does,
Hmm.
but but very much focused on the gospel and on Christian living and on evangelism and in relation to issues in that area, not on bitterness or accusing or anything like that, but more on reconciliation and peace in Christ.
Yeah.
And he spoke with great, and we met him
Mm.
he as well. He spoke briefly, but he spoke with great humility and a sort of a godliness about him that was lovely. And of course, he was mixing with Jewish people who are
Yeah.
also at the assembly, all
Uh,
one in Christ.
Yeah, a wonderful example of unity in that regard. And yes, there continue to be different touch points and difficulties that we face both geopolitically and spiritually and relationally around the world. But wonderful to have this individual as the new leader of WEA. And I mean, hey, what do they say? No good thing comes out of Nazareth. Well, here's another example of some very good things that God is doing out of somebody from that part of the world, right?
Yeah, I mean, he applied. No doubt he was pushed to apply and prompted by the Lord.
Yeah.
And I mean, it could equally have been a Jewish Christian.
Yes.
It could have been anybody from anywhere in the world, but clearly he's a man with the right giftings for this time.
Yes.
And again, it wasn't a political appointment in any
Hmm.
way.
Yep.
He was just the right person to exercise that leadership. It's not a top-down sort of
No.
organization in any way, but you do need somebody who can kind of embody Christian values in a global perspective, because that is what the gospel was about.
Yeah.
God sent His Son to save the world,
Mm.
right?
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, and hey, lots to celebrate, lots of challenges ahead. Just finally
Mm.
on this one, Stuart, setting a target on this, and I love the significance of the target. 2,000 years on from the birth of the church, how are we doing in this regard? To be fair, though, targets have been set in the past. 2,000 was going to be a target at one point. Now we're 25 years later than this. Is it achievable and is it helpful, do you think, to set these targets, the gospel for all by such and such a date? Is it helpful in that it gives us something to aim at? What's your thoughts?
Well, we're not saved by slogans or
Yeah.
strategic plans.
Mm.
Only the Lord can do this, but it's aspirational
Hmm.
and it's inspirational. I mean, I was a wee bit skeptical at first,
Yep.
but I actually think it's very good to to uh, to think about this and to be praying and working for that.
Yep.
And of course, in Korea, we saw a lot of the deep prayerfulness and biblical faithfulness and gospel-minded focus of the Korean church.
Yeah.
There were for part of the assembly, there were 5,000 pastors meeting alongside and sort of intermingled with the assembly, and you can see that God's done a wonderful work there of revival, and then growing the church through much hardship of persecution and war, and it's in God's hands.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good and godly aim to have in mind.
And also, I think significant to put that calendar date in our mind as what God has done through His church over the last 2,000 years, and put it to recognise that as a significant date in not just church history but world history.
Well, the church is growing.
Yeah.
Worldwide. And it's gospel-minded evangelical churches that grow most. Whether it's Pentecostal or not, but just those who are focused on the gospel and orthodox and living faith, they are the ones that can be together, united to the gospel.
Yeah.
Right across our all differences of culture and denomination, all those lesser things. And there is growth. It's not growing in the West, though there are hot spots of growth, but we can pray and work for that as well. But at the end of the day, it's in God's hands.
Stuart, hey, not a bad place to be in God's hands, whatever the circumstances. Very much appreciate the work that you do at New Zealand Christian Network, and hey, very exciting to be involved in this recent conference. Thanks so much for sharing the details of that and for joining us on the program today.
Pleasure. God bless.
Hey, thanks very much for joining us in the Rhema studio. Thanks very much for watching the interview. It's kind of nice to have an audience, actually. And if you did like what you watched, then do give us a like, do give us the thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more interviews like that one, or perhaps even better, subscribe and those interviews will come straight to you. Don't forget to turn on your notifications, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.